Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TSL4. First match of the day. They're on game number 2 right now, with the Terran currently behind 0-1. Let's go ahead and introduce our players. The happy person who just did the happy face in the right. A well-known player in Brood War, starting to make a big name for himself in StarCraft 2. It is TSL's Hyun. And down in that dare bottom side, from Mexico, now living, training in Korea in the same team house as Hyun, it is going to be Major.
And that is something that's very important to mention, Sean, that they have trained together a lot. Obviously, they're friends based on the chat that we've seen so far. Some of the more entertaining chat that I've seen there as they were reminiscing about how that Overlord, I can't remember if he ever ended up dying or if he was forever an Overseer, but either way, surviving long enough that it didn't really matter if he passed away in the later stage of the game, because Zerg player was maxed out at around 14 minutes, and that wasn't even pure Roach, Sean. That was some healthy Zergling, Baneling, quick Ultras, Mutalisks, lots of stuff in there. And I just gotta say, I really like the minimal use of Mutalisks there as Major. I mean, he did set up missile turrets all around his bases. And I feel like, that's something that Zerg players can do. Build the tech structure, and then switch to Mass Muta later if you need it. You don't necessarily have to commit to that tech.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how hard Mutalisks can be to deal with in StarCraft 2. With, the rate of minerals and gas coming in, you can get 30 of them pretty easily and just destroy a Terran player. And as a result, Terrans tend to way over-prepare because they kind of have to. And getting just 11, enough to throw Major off guard, and then just pop right into Hive Tech. And amazingly, Major didn't get to attack really ever. He was constantly defending, which is totally not his style.
And totally not how you can do it versus a player like Hyun. Gonna have to throw off that macro. We saw him in the last game where he got, what was it, like 80 drones or something within the first 10 minutes?
Yeah,
it was absurd.
Sick.
Absolutely absurd. Down goes the spawning pool here. That is, of course, going to be right after hatchery, which is completely standard for TVZ. It does look like another macro build, at least so far at a Major. Just doing the one racks, builds one Marine, and then throws down a command center immediately. The timing of that SCV is looking pretty good indeed. Down it does go. And so he is going to go ahead and go with that. Now, is he going to be able to kill this Overlord? Looks like maybe, but I don't know. Hyun's got a good angle there. We'll see if he has the Miracle Overlord once again.
I mean, Hyun is kind of getting himself into a little bit of sticky situations getting these Overlords so low, because right now Hyun is going to have to immediately beeline down to the far bottom left corner. And even though that one Overlord will be able to probably stay alive, it kind of ruins Hyun's ability to do those sort of late game scouts. Around 7 minutes, you like the opportunity to fly 2 Overlords in to check out what's up. But if one is nearly dead, then Major's going to be on the lookout for that. And here's the Major that I think we know and love. Getting the double gas right away. It looks like it'll be kind of a more common Hellion play.
This is something, though, he's going to want to deny the Overlord from scouting. Clicking on the Overlord, you can see he's going straight for that gas. It's kind of tough to deny the scouting here because right behind the gas is just big open air surface area, which is kind of a weird way to say it, but basically you can't get Marines over there to deny the Overlord from scouting it, so he is surely going to see exactly what's going on there. We do have a scouting SCV going to eventually get taken out here. Indeed, it does. And the drone production going into full swing. We do have double gas on the way now for Zerg. And looking at what Hyun's doing here so far, Sean, does it look like he's going to be taking a third, or is he going to be preparing for something that's off of 2 bases?
Yeah, this is kind of uncommon. He's actually getting the double gas early, which would totally signal that he wants to be teching up to a layer, but he has the 2 queens en route as well. So I guess he's saying, I really, 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 really want that creep spread. It also allows him to avoid a spine crawler. Weirdly, though, it looks like we're going to see Major go for the Hellion play, but given the fact that he got these double gas so early, he's probably going to be going Banshee. There it is. Starport going down right now. And to note, the timing of this, the Banshee Hellion play is very common with 3 command centers, but Major's on 2 command centers. He's really wanting to knock out that creep spread right away. And, ooh, looks like another Overlord might be on the fringe of death. Ooh, a weird juke by Major. Gets it anyways.
And remember, Zerg players do tend to lose their Overlords, at least one between the 6 and 8 minute mark. However, I feel like he scouted what he needed to. Could have saved that one quite easily. It does supply block him here a little bit. And you can see 4 Overlords being produced here at a time.
And a Roach Warren. That's an odd choice. Does he want to be going Roach with 2 gas geysers up?
I don't know. He does want to go a lot of creep tumors, though, with metabolic boost on the way here. And we're going to have to keep an eye on the gas here for Hyun and see exactly what he invested in. Some of the Zerg players I've talked to say that they get the Roach Warren just as kind of a a like, oh god, I'm about to die moment where they need some pretty robust and strong units. Hellions trying to poke in here just a little bit, not able to do anything because there is way too many queens there. The Hellions, even if they do deny the creep tumors, it's not going to be that great of a play. But we do have 8 roaches on the way here, and cloaking on the way for the Banshee. The timing of this, Sean, are these roaches actually going to be able to do anything?
This is a weird timing. Ordinarily, you can either go for a Ling Roach push, or you can take kind of an early third, but it looks like Hyun's kind of timed his way out to be able to do both, and the roaches get out just in time to smack these Hellions down. This timing is beautiful by Hyun, and look at this. His third base is already halfway done. 18 Lings coming out. This is a very, very fast pace for this to happen. Ordinarily, you start the third base around now while these roaches are coming out. A really clever timing from Hyun, but man, those Banshees are a pain in the ass to deal with. But it looks like Hyun's going for it.
I have seen many Terrans lose games. Even though they have the Banshees out, they don't have enough DPS to burn down those roaches quickly enough because the reinforcements never stop. Remember, with the Baneling Nest, this wall in could be busted quite easily. The roaches made his folks it down anyways. Mass Hellion not the best here versus the roaches. We're seeing Banelings are on the way. Does
right
the
underneath
Banshee
the
decide to
Banshee.
go for it? Yeah, could focus down a lot of these Banelings. Needs to get as many as he possibly can. The Hellions on the high ground, going to try and line them up as best as he possibly can there. But the Banshee's just eating up all these Banelings. It does take 3 shots there. That one does survive, though. And here comes the Baneling.
Wow.
Is going to go for it.
And
All the
supply
depots
block.
go down. And the roaches now are in the base.
This is a terrible situation for Major. Roaches already busted down the front supply blocks. Roaches make sure that that last supply depot falls down. In the midst of all this, Zerg has been droning. The expert command center is going to be very difficult still for Major to be able to pull back. The Hellions being controlled just magnificently, but all the pressure that Major wanted to do early with the Hellion Banshee is now dead. Just now, as it seemed like the Zerg has finally had this attack stop. And I mean, Hyun is just in an incredible position. Look at the unit count, 32 SCVs to 52 drones.
And really no units to show for it, just 6 Hellions, 2 Banshees. Zerg player only has a single Zergling for defense here. 6 Spore Crawlers have gone down, so he wants to make sure he doesn't take too much damage from those Banshees, knowing that that's really the only unit he has left in that army. And he is going to be pushing forward here with the Banshees and the Hellions. Cloak is done. That's why his defenses were a little bit slim, is because he was researching that cloak. And the Hellions are going to rush down here to the third base. Can he get a lot of drone kills here?
Oh,
they
no.
are in perfect position here. He is going to be able to do a little bit of damage, but look at that split here from Hyun, taking very, very minimal damage considering how many Hellions that actually is. That is a beautiful, beautiful split.
Oh my god, that was such a clean split by Hyun. I mean, that was magnificent. And it looks like the Banshee's going to try to poke around the main, but when you've done that much worker damage, you can easily sacrifice a few workers yourself to build 1 or 2 extra Spore Crawlers. You know, you like to be able to get away with 4 or 5 Spore Crawlers, but building 6 or 7 after you've done major damage is an incredibly easy way to stabilize. And look at that. Mutalisk's coming up, and a mech play out of Major.
And I do at least like the use of Banshees as long as he can. He's denying the creep spread. You can see a couple of cancellations on the creep tumors. And at least, you know, one thing that's going better for him this game is the fact that the creep is not already knocking at his front door. This game is at the almost 12-minute mark, looking drastically different this game than from last. He really would like to kill off a queen, but with the Overseer here, that's not really going to be an option here. So he'll have to retreat and might want to just kind of retain these Banshees for later use. Decides to go for the queen, though. Transfuse says, nuh-uh. And trading a Banshee for energy, not going to be worth it.
Hellions again are going to go try up to this north position. The drones, once again, are going to spread beautifully. Right now, no drones have been killed. 1 drone has been killed. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I mean, I almost feel like he's playing Command & Conquer and just has a scatter button that he can press to spread his units out that well. And you know, it's amazing to just, again, relate it all back to creep spread. 4 queens popped out early for Hyun, and then he follows it up with a Ling Roach attack. In the midst of the Ling Roach attack, the Hellions can't be stopping the creep spread. And look at how far it is at the 13-minute mark already.
Now it does look like the Barracks revealing himself, which is going to tell Hyun right here that, yeah, I'm going for a mech play, because why would he be sacrificing a Barrack unless he was going mech? So he kind of tells him exactly what's going on there. We do have double armory on the way, though, so he has managed to get the +1/+1 rolling on those right at about the same time his opponent's going to have that.
Oh my.
But just 3 factories here. And Sean, do you think he's going to focus more on Thors or more on tanks?
I think he has to focus on Thors for a brief period of time because the Mutalisks are coming. But look at Hyun, he's preparing his next 2 steps. Couple Mutalisks coming out, but the instant he saw the mech play, immediately getting Ventral Sacks and Roach speed. We will likely see a flood of Roaches and a huge drop in the main when Major is really not even close to having enough tanks to defend it.
And also, if he's out of position at all, those units move mighty, mighty slow. They do a lot of damage, but they move at a 1.88. Roaches move much quicker than that once they have that Roach speed.
3.
And you can also get Nidus Worms, and we do have the 17 Roaches on the way right now.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
and there's the Mutalisk picking off the Banshee. And look at the production tab for Major. You're going to see it switch on over to Thor almost immediately. There's the Thor popping out. Even as this Banshee's dealing harassment damage to this north expansion, you can see the readjustment in Major's head. But there he just saw a big bunch of Roaches, a little bit of a misrally there by Hyun. I mean, Major might not overreact and build more Thors now.
He does just have the 1 on the way, but it was about a third done at the time of that being an issue here. And I'm just taking a look at the upgrades here. He has started the +2 attack. We do have the Infernal Pre-Igniter on the way here. Is that going to help a lot? It's really only useful versus Zerglings, which you don't see a lot of, and drones as well. But so far, I feel like Hellion Harass just is something you do not do versus Hyun, as he is able to split those units quite well. Barracks most likely going to get taken out. We do have the Sensor Tower here. This is going to help him out in dealing with that Muta Harass and the potential for drops. I think he knows that since he's going mech, that drops are an option. Another Sensor Tower going to be going down here, kind of aggressively placed in right outside of his base here. He's going to be setting up with the Siege Tanks and the Thors. But Sean, do you think he's just going to sit back here and try and get maxed out with a big power play, or does he need to hit a timing?
I mean, honestly, Major has to hit the anti-timing. I'm not sure Major can attack for the next 15 minutes, and Hyun is going to be doing the opposite. He's going to be springing right into action, trying to pick off sensor towers, turrets. A great choice there by Major. He was a little bit unsure whether his opponent was going to be committing to mutas or doing a roach drop, so he started to flood sensor towers, turrets, and Vikings at the backside. Hopefully he'll be able to kill off this gigantic drop that's coming, but honestly, it looks like Major just saw the drop incoming, so he's going to be getting ready to reposition himself, or is he? No, he's sieging up in mid-map.
Can he finally get some drone kills? He's been desperately been trying to get the drones. Have not been pulled off the line this time, so he may be able to. The Mutalisks actually decide not to clean those out, but here comes a big, big drop. Is it going to be in a good spot, though? May drop directly onto the siege tanks. Looks like it will. Keep by the supplies are vastly superior for the Zerg right now, and he does decide just to drop them right on top of these units. The Hellions, though, in a good spot. The Overlords will fall, and this may actually supply block him here, but that is so many Roaches here. 1-1 going up against 1-1 mech as well. There's one siege tank on the high ground. Nothing actually there to spot those tanks.
Oh,
there's the Overseer right there.
In the bottom left, where all the backup command centers are building, we see the Roaches immediately stream down. The key control point for Terran has been busted. Hyun was once maxed, now has fallen to 185. Major, though, has tumbled 50 full food and is up against an endless army of Roaches. Now the Pathogen Glands and Hive are incoming. 5 bases are on the docket for Hyun, and Major, with these passive macro plays, just can't seem to deal with these floods of units from Hyun.
A flood of units indeed. He's got 3,000 minerals, 1,500 gas, 200 out of 200 supply. Can't imagine it going much better right now for Hyun. The Hellions got to try and slip back into a base. But again, even if he kills that, it's just freeing up supply for more and more Roaches. Roaches usually a pretty good choice for mech if you can do those crazy drops on top of the army like we saw him do. Was able to clean that out. The +2 attack finally finishing, but guess what? So's the 2-2 for Hyun right now, which means that he's going to have a hell of a time getting any sort of edge. The Hellions will be able to clean a couple of Zerglings up here, but not doing really enough damage there.
I mean, Mike, has there been any Hellion attack that's really managed to do any damage? We see another failed attack in the north, a bunch of failed ones at the top right. How many workers has he killed off yet in this game?
Not that many. He's only been able to kill off 15. He himself has lost more than that. I think that was the 3rd or 4th Hellion harass that has been completely denied. And I mean, to be quite frank, Major, the best way to get ahead in a ZVT is going to be denying that macro, and Hyun, excuse me, has just done such a phenomenal job preventing that. His creep spread still looking top-notch, reaching over the halfway mark, and there's only a single drop moving out for Major, once again attempting to use the Hellions, which is normally effective versus Zerg, but in these given circumstances, not going to do all that much. And there's not even that many drones here to begin with. He's got too much money to spare. And here comes another big drop here.
Hyun is not even going to take the opportunity to pull back and defend. He knows his opponent is weak. He's going for the jugular. There's more tanks there this time, though, and it looks like the spread from those Thors is going to be helping quite a bit more. But the unit count is so high. The number of roaches that we're seeing Hyun unload on Major is insane. Hellion's trying to pull back to deal a little bit of damage, and Major can't handle the heat. He says good game. Bring